Series of the year starts tonight. The Phillies in town for a pivotal 3-game set that could decide the Dodgers' seeding in the postseason. Also, what we've learned about how the Dodgers have been positioning their players in the last week and how that will impact where guys will be in the postseason. Also, will we see Shohei Ohtani pitching in October? We got an update on Will Smith, Roki Sasaki, and Max Muncy. And we got our 10 big takeaways about the week that was in Dodger baseball. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Roy, the parade. We got it, parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Friedman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of the media. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. If you're new to the show, new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button, getting close to 140,000 subscribers. And we're going to start doing more giveaways very soon. And once we do, you want to be eligible. All you have to do is be subscribed, have those notification bell buttons on. And if you want to support the show every single day, hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell and comment on every single episode. Also, if you like commenting and talking Dodger baseball, go to the Discord channel where you got thousands of Dodgers fans talking Dodger baseball 24/7, 365. I'm chiming in, Noel's chiming in, and it's time to get geared up for the postseason. And if you want to get the best Dodgers merch in the game, go to www.gearup.la and pick up our new Daja boys. Look at the Welcome to Dodger Stadium. This is a fire t-shirt. You got to pick it up at www.gearup.la. It's based on our awesome video that we just released. This thing is hot on the streets, going viral on Instagram, going viral on YouTube. Get merched up. Also, a lot of other great t-shirts over there as well, so definitely pick that up. This is a live show, and we are looking for all of your comments. We've got Noel, kind of on the IL, hurt his knee. He's like Max Muncy early in the season, but just like Muncy made it back, so is Noel. Noel playing injured too. That is, I wish if Hanley Ramirez had done that, the Dodgers might have another World Series. But playing injured, he has dealt with a knee injury, but he's good to go. He's looking for all your comments of the show. He actually just went to Ontario to tour the new stadium. What was that like?
It was awesome, man. $100 million plus stadium over there, and it's going to be cool. It's always cool whenever you bring new stadiums, new ballparks to the city, and I'm glad that people out in Ontario, they can't always make it out to Dodger Stadium. So come through, enjoy some good baseball, have some drink with your boys, get some food. And I think it's going to be awesome. This will be the launch party this week. So we're going to find out what the team name is. But it was a really good time over there, man.
Are there any rumors about like the team name potential?
So they're heavily leaning into like the Ontario like airport and like the airplanes over there. So it's going to, I personally think it's going to be something aerial.
Interesting.
So it's going to be fun, man. I'm excited to see what the team merch is going to look like, the logo, everything.
The Ontario Aviators, Ontario Jets. Yeah, there's also all kinds of options. I like it, but that's good stuff. Go check out his video, the tour of the Ontario baseball facility. The Dodgers, they pour more money into their minor league system than anyone else.
Facts.
That's why they're great at developing talent. But let's start with the comment of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, will Michael Conforto have a positive impact for the Dodgers in the postseason? Yes, with 13 games left, we're still asking that question. I think that bodes well for Michael Conforto. And right now, Dodgers Nation feels strongly that you know what? This is surprising. 47% say yes, Michael Conforto will have a positive impact for the Dodgers in the postseason. 53% say no. 47% say yes. So how about that? Some Dodgers positivity this week, and they're going to need it with the big series against the Phillies. But there's so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball is tonight at Dodger Stadium. A 3-game series starts with the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, the Phillies, they do have the tiebreaker. They took 2 of 3 against the Dodgers earlier this season. The Dodgers are 4 games back from Philadelphia for the 2nd seed in the National League. Why that's so important? Well, that's because if you are one of the top 2 seeds, you immediately go right to the division round. You don't have to play in a wild card round. You don't have to play an additional 3-game series. Helps set your rotation, keeps those relievers fresh. The only pro to it would be the whole rest versus rust debate, because we saw what happened a couple years with the Dodgers bats being cold early to start the DS. I don't subscribe to that theory just because the truth is that the Dodgers haven't lost an NLDS with Shohei Ohtani on the roster. So I would much rather get that rest. If it does not happen, then so be it. The current magic number for the Dodgers to win the division is 10. So that's 10 results that go in the Dodgers' favor, whether that be 10 wins for the Dodgers, whether that be 10 losses for the Padres, or something in between. If both teams go 1-9 down the stretch, I mean, if both teams lose, they still have the tiebreaker and you can still win this division. But the magic number is down to 10. And that's what you need to know is 10 results that go in the Dodgers' favor, wins or losses. And then you'll be NL West champions once again for the 12th time in the last 13 years. And the beautiful thing about that is you win the division, but it would be a lot sweeter if you could finish strong this week, and you probably going to wrap up that division next week on the road, whether it be Seattle or Arizona. Maybe they'll be partying in the pool like we saw years back in Yasiel Puig and Hyunjin Ryu diving into the Diamondbacks pool. That was amazing. But ideal scenario is this week you sweep the Phillies. And that's my first take here. You got to sweep the Phillies if you want any chance of catching them in the National League. And it's not going to be easy. The way the rotation lines up, you've got game 1, Emmett Sheehan, a 3.32 ERA, but his last 7 starts, a 3.18 ERA in 39 and 2/3 innings, 48 strikeouts to 11 walks. It's had 72 whiffs in his last 4 starts. So he's been really dominant of late. Shohei Ohtani is the game 2 starter. We know what he's capable of. True ace level, top tier stuff. A 3.75 ERA on the year. And then Blake Snell going in game 3, a 2.79 ERA. So if you win tonight, I think that's almost the wild card one, because Emmett Sheehan, not as experienced as some of those other guys, but still, the way he's been pitching lately, you got to feel pretty good, especially when you consider how this Dodgers offense has looked lately. Tonight, they're going up against lefty Ranger Suarez, who's been really good all season, a 2.77 ERA. The way that he's performed of late, he's been even hotter. In his last 4 starts, he's at a 0.88 ERA. So he's been really good for them. And you look at the other starters for the Phillies, you got Christopher Sanchez in game 2, and then you got Jesus Luzardo in game 3. So the way the pitching lines up, look, this is a Dodgers team. They can beat anyone on any night if the offense shows up. And over the last week, where I did predict a sweep, I was hoping to do a shoey today. I predicted they go 6-0, but I will gladly take 5-1. The last week, the Dodgers go 5-1. They swept the lowly, they swept a team that teams just sweep in the Rockies. Then the Giants, they take 2 out of 3, but it was the offense. They scored 7.17 runs per game, and they allowed 2.83 runs per game. So good run production, good run prevention. And this team looks like they're locked in. Like I said, it's the meme of the dude who's sitting playing video games and he gets closer to the screen. The Dodgers have gotten closer to the screen. It's like 2 minutes to go in Madden and your friend, and you're just locked all the way in. That's how I think this Dodgers team is playing at the moment. For them, the tough test is trying to neutralize a Phillies offense that has some big dudes, some big dogs. Kyle Schwarber, he leads all of Major League Baseball with 127 RBI. He's second in home runs with 52. The Phillies as a team, they have the second best batting average. So they do put the ball in play at 261. Trey Turner, we know what he can do on the bases. Bryce Harper has been slumping, but he's the guy that can come alive. So this series would be so big for so many different ways if they're able to win it, because you can realistically, after this series, if you sweep, can be one game behind for the Phillies, and you have a shot if you take care of business down the stretch to finish with that 2 seed. And then also, too, it's a confidence thing as well. We know this Dodgers team, they're ready to roll right now. They're going to save their best baseball towards the end of the season. And if you're able to show this Phillies team, hey, you've had a good year, the Brewers have had a good year, but we are the reigning champs. If you want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. And the Dodgers, they're the reigning champs. And I think it's another opportunity for them to kind of impose that will against a Phillies team, because I think it's not as much about the wild card round. Like, we know that the Dodgers, with the way that their pitching lines up and the way their offense is capable of hitting, that it could be a really good team, could be an elite team, and you would feel pretty good about them in a short series at home. But do you really want to face the Mets or possibly the Giants? I mean, teams that would be playing with house money, teams wearing orange. We know we don't like orange and black. Trastros, I mean, Halloween, Spirit Halloween Superstore. I think that if you're the Dodgers, it's not necessarily about playing those extra games. It's if you do have to face the Phillies at any point in the season, in the postseason, that you have home field advantage against them in a later round. I think that's the bigger thing for me, because the Phillies are a team that's deep. They have a good rotation, even without Wheeler. They have a bullpen that picked up Johan Duran that is built to try to neutralize this Dodgers offense. So if you're able to catch them, at the very least, you give yourself the best position to, one, play less games, force them to play more games in the wild card round, and two, you host them at Dodger Stadium. So tonight's a postseason game. It really is. Like, tonight is a postseason game. It's not an elimination game, but as far as how meaningful it is, tonight, I think, is going to go a long way to see what team this is, as far as measuring stick, as far as barometer, as far as, have these Dodgers really flipped that switched and gone into full-blown postseason mode? I said it last week that the we don't give a F Dodgers are back, and it feels like they are. It does. And yes, you had the loss on Friday, and we'll talk about Tanner Scott here in a second, but you bounced back with 2 massive wins where you absolutely bludgeoned that Giants team in the offense they showed out. So that begins tonight. Let me know down below in the comment section, will the Dodgers sweep? Will the Dodgers break out the broomsticks? And myself, it's a home game. This team knows it's important. And when this team knows that a game is important, they usually play better. We've seen that the last couple of years. We've seen it against the Padres. We know it's a big test. So I feel like the Dodgers are going to sweep this series. I got a sweep over Philly. Yes, this is a little bit of a homer pick, but it's because I think that they're capable of doing it. I really do. And I think that this last couple of weeks stretch where guys have gotten healthy, and yes, you're still dealing with a Will Smith absence. Max Muncy is still feeling soreness on his arm, on his hand, and you're not fully at 100%, but still, not only have guys returned, like Edman, for example, guys have also turned the corner. Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez have started to hit. Freddie Freeman has hit for a while now. The Mookie Betts since August 3rd turnaround is incredible, putting up MVP numbers again. Teoscar Hernandez had himself an incredible week. And you look at where this team is from a pitching standpoint, they've been absolutely dominant. The rotation has been incredible over the last 2-week stretch. So I think tonight is in this next couple of days is going to tell you a lot about how focused and locked in this Dodgers team is. But let me know, what is your prediction? Do you got a sweep? Do you got the Dodgers taking 2 out of 3? Are they going to get swept? Because this is a postseason preview. This is, to me, what the Padres were last year to the Dodgers as far as, hey, who's the team in the National League that poses the biggest threat? I think that's the Phillies this year. I think the Phillies are this year's Padres to this Dodgers team. That's why I think it's important that they impose their will tonight. Noel, what do you got? Sweep, 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3.
Yeah, man, the Phillies are a great team. It's going to be a really, really fun series. I'm going to go with 2 out of 3. I think the Phillies take 1. I think it's going to be a hard fought all 3 games.
Your knee injury has made you dark. You're supposed to be Michelada half full, eternal optimist.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, you're probably going to be right. But let's be honest. You're probably going to be right.
Phillies are a great team,
and honestly,
man.
you would kind of take 2 out of 3. But
yeah,
I think this team knows, hey, a 4-game deficit with 13 games to play, they have this golden opportunity to host this team. Yeah. I just feel like if this team is what I think they are this year, which is a team that is saving their best for last, this would be a great series to prove that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's gonna be a long week too. I mean, no days off. You got that 4-game series against the Giants right after. It's gonna be crazy. But I think they have the ability to sweep. But none of those games are gonna be easy.
No doubt about it. Absolutely. But I love that 2 out of 3. It's fun to just disagree on stuff. Okay, and that happens.
Someone said Dmac bite your tongue. I don't know what they mean by that. They want you to share
they might want me to say they're going to get swept. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe there's some. We have an increasing amount of fans from other teams that watch this show. So who knows?
They come in and hijacking the shit. A lot of people are saying 2 out of 3 in the chat.
2 out of 3. That's the look. I like to go big or go home. You know what I mean? I like. You know what? To me, a lot of people like Prize Picks. We love Prize Picks. FanDuel. To me, saying they are going to do something and it happens, that's like I'm winning $1 million bet. That's like that's my high. You know what I mean? So I got to go big on it, and hopefully you put yourself in a good position. Now, as far as, and we're going to get to our 10 big takeaways, some injury updates in a second, but I want to break down this piece from the LA Times where Andrew Friedman talked about the current state of the Dodgers, and he was asked about the offseason moves that they had made. And they have not been great so far. They're a team that has dealt with tons of injuries. They're a team that has had a lot of key players underperform, but they signed 11 new contracts last offseason. And none of those guys that they've signed or brought in have a WAR that's exceeded 2, according to baseballreference.com. And you look at some other teams, it points out the Angels, they signed Yusei Kikuchi and Kenley Jansen, and guys like that have produced more. Well, Andrew Friedman was asked about his offseason signings and his evaluation, how he assesses them. And he said, quote, "We'll wait until after the season. We're all focused on these next few games and October." So what he's saying is, hey, all will be forgiven if you produce when the lights are the brightest during October, during the postseason. We're not going to talk about Michael Conforto being a negative WAR player. We're not going to talk about the fact that we're celebrating that Michael Conforto is hitting 200 for the first time since June. We're not going to talk about Tanner Scott signing a 4-year, $72 million deal and being a liability out of the pen, or Kirby Yates. We're not going to talk about even Blake Trinan missing a lot of time or Blake Snell missing a lot of time. We're not going to talk about Teoscar Hernandez and the extension that he signed, and he was having mostly an average year and a below average defensive year, and Tommy Edman having a below average offensive year and being injured. We are not going to talk about any of that stuff if half of those guys perform and the Dodgers win a World Series because of their performances. These guys all have a golden opportunity to straight up go full-blown Men in Black pen, erase the memories, etch a sketch mode, shake it away. They can make us completely have free agency amnesia here if they finish the season strong. Here's something wild. The most valuable player that the Dodgers signed this offseason based on WAR is Ha-Seong Kim, who the Dodgers didn't play until later in the season. And he's a guy that you committed $12.5 million to, a contract that could be a little north of $20 million, but not a guy you broke the bank on. He's someone that started the year in the minor leagues. Andrew Friedman also said that he feels very confident about the starting pitching. He said, quote, from a pitching standpoint, we have a very realistic chance to have the most talented 13-man pitching staff we've ever had. We felt that way in July, coupled with that we were most likely, hopefully going to be in that position to be in a position where we can have tough conversations with guys who have a legitimate chance to make it, but wouldn't. So that tells you right there that they like the fact that there's so many guys that you can consider towards the end. And we've broken down postseason rosters and bullpens, but the truth is there's an internal competition right now. A guy like Ben Kasparius got optioned. He's not even pitching at the major league level, and he was a big part of what they did this season. Jack Dreyer, you can make the case, is more reliable than Tanner Scott. Kirby Yates is up and down. Roki Sasaki, who there was some talk that after his really great start down in OKC, 4 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, just looked a lot better throwing 100-mile-per-hour fastballs and devastating forkballs, that maybe he could deserve some consideration. Dave Roberts did say that he was dealing with a calf injury that set him back, but they're not going to rule out him pitching for this team again this year. And I've seen people asking me about Roki Sasaki, why they don't just option him. You want to be on the IL on the main roster at the big league club level because, one, you get service time. 2, you get different exposure when you're around those guys as well. And I think, too, that if you were to put on the 60-man, they could get complicated with the 40-man move. You don't want to go and do that. So all of this still makes sense for Roki Sasaki. But I like that Andrew Friedman is coming out and he's saying this. I really do, just because he understands that right now, if the season were to end today, that you could legitimately make the claim that last offseason was the worst of Andrew Friedman's future Hall of Fame career. Let's not forget, this is a guy that has never missed the postseason in his time running this team. Like, he literally has been the best at his job in all of Major League Baseball and one of the best executives in all of sports. Like, they've got what Shohei Ohtani is as a player. They've got that as a president of baseball operations in Andrew Friedman. But the truth is, a lot of these guys, Kike, Edman, they're kind of postseason guys, right? Like, that's who they are. He also talked about the value of Max Muncy and what he means to this team. He says, on the position player side, with and without Max Muncy, the numbers are crazy. He's a huge part of our lineup, but even with that, the level of our offensive performance for 2 months is something that I would have said would never have happened. It would have been an impossibility, even with an injury here or an injury there. What I thought was impossible has been very possible and has played out. Looking back, it has contributed to the situation we're in now and the difficulties. I still look ahead and see the names in the lineup and the depth, and I feel really good about it. So we're going to find out if that's right or not. So what he's essentially saying there is like, hey, like, we were really slumping for a long stretch. Baseball happens. Yes, there was injuries. Yes, there was guys slumping. But think about this. Like, if your worst hitter is Michael Conforto, you're in a pretty good spot. It's just a matter of continuing along with this and making sure that guys like Michael Conforto, you're not talking about things like this, right? Of the 191 players that have at least 400 plate appearances, he had the lowest WAR, right? You don't want to use those as bullet points to go back and review your 2024 to 2025 offseason. So all these guys are in a great position. Ask yourself this. Who on the current roster of the guys that have been trending in the wrong direction are trending in the wrong direction still? Like, if you look at it, it's kind of wild how this thing is playing out. It's really top to bottom. Every single player feels like has turned a corner or is playing better. I mean, just look at Shohei Ohtani, unanimous MVP again. Ben Rortvedt, who knows? A guy like Ben Rortvedt, he could make the postseason roster, especially in that first round when you don't need as many pitchers. And someone like Ben Rortvedt, who's an elite pitch framer and could also be used differently, where when Rushing comes back, Rushing can be more of a left-handed bat off the bench. And Ben Rortvedt is a guy that you use more at that backup catcher spot. Because the truth is right now, with Ha-Seong Kim being your left-handed bat off the bench, that doesn't pass the smell test for guys in those situations. Left-handed bats off the bench should have some ability to slug and give you extra base hits. And Ha-Seong Kim has not looked very good at the plate since coming back. So I would not rule out the possibility of the Dodgers doing really creative stuff, because the big kicker in all of this is when you have Shohei Ohtani not counting against your pitcher roster spots, you can still have the same amount of pitchers that another team would already have in 13, but also have an extra position player that you can stash on your bench in a pinch hit situation. And I think what they like about Ha-Seong Kim is a guy that can come off the bench and pinch run for you. But you look at how he's looked since coming back. In 14 at-bats, he's 1 for 14 with 6 strikeouts. He's hitting 0.71. In July, hitting 193, 417 OPS. And in that stretch, 24 strikeouts and 57 at-bats. So that's kind of how this thing plays out. So don't be shocked if you see that wild card roster, if you see that NLDS roster, and you see the Dodgers going with an extra position player and one less pitcher than you expected. So who knows? Could we see a postseason roster that has Will Smith, Ben Rortvedt, and Dalton Rushing, with Rushing off the bench as a bat primarily? It's possible. He certainly has the talent to do it. So the reason why I bring this up is hearing Andrew Friedman say what he said, it just makes me truly believe that right now, this is a Dodgers team that is going to be unpredictable. Let's not forget this. Walker Buehler had the highest ERA of any Dodger last year. 5.38 ERA. Any Dodger with at least 60 innings, and he gets the final out. Like, there's going to be a lot of surprises and unpredictability during this stretch when the Dodgers are getting themselves ready to go on another run. But coming up next, we got our 10 big takeaways from the week that was. We're giving out a player of the week. We'll do a comment of the show. We'll listen to some sound from Clayton Kershaw. Was that his last start at Oracle Park? Who knows? But that's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network, your front row seat to everything Dodgers all season long. Home of the #1 Dodgers podcast in the world, Dodgers Dugout Live, hosted by me, Doug McKain. Friends call me Dmac, and we cover everything about your boys in blue, everything you need to know about Dodger baseball in less than an hour. We've got breaking news, post-game breakdowns, roster updates, trade rumors, in-depth player analysis, Dodgers trivia, you name it. Whether it's a wild walk-off at the Ravine, a key call-up from OKC, we've got the insight, we got the coverage, and we're here for you all year long. We're the #1 Dodgers site on every platform, and we're born and based in LA. We're loyal to the soil. Dodger baseball is what we do. Trusted by tens of thousands of daily listeners, Dodgers Nation is more than just recaps. We are LA. Whether you're in Echo Park or out in the Valley, Beverly Hills, whatever it is, if you bleed blue, this pod's for you. The more you guys subscribe, the bigger we can build, and we can do this together. So stay up to date with our Dodgers Nation post-game shows and breakdowns and podcasts. You can listen while you're lifting, while you're in traffic, or while pretending to answer work emails. We won't tell. Subscribe now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your baseball fix. So if you're a new listener or a longtime listener of the podcast, write us a review and we'll read it on the show. Join the conversation, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a pitch with the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. Got some comments here. Okay, this is we've got a Leandro Montoya. Dmac, will you do a shoey if the Dodgers sweep the Phillies? No, I won't. You know why? Because shoeys are reserved for moments that I think are ones that kind of surpass our expectations, are just special things. If they go 7-0 this week, if the Dodgers have the 2 seed, let's up the ante is kind of my point. Let's up the ante, right? If the Dodgers are if the Dodgers have the 2 seed, if they go 7-0 this week, I'll do a shoey. So 7-0 with the sweep of the Phillies and the Giants, and you would end their season. If that happens this week, I will gladly do a shoey. You guys can throw down what beer you want me to use. I'm totally down to do a shoey. Also, another thing that I want to point out there, let's talk about some Michael Conforto. Because Michael Conforto is starting to hit, and it's looking better. The at-bats. And it's not just, here's the thing. The thing about Michael Conforto, and I know people are out there saying, Dmac, I know he's done this before. He was supposed to turn around before, and then what happened? He just got bad again and started to slump again. It didn't really matter. All that's true. I'm not denying that. He certainly has had moments this year where it felt like he was going to have a turnaround only to fall into another slump. But if you do look at how he's performed of late, part of, I think, the reason why it makes more sense is the return of Tommy Edman and what that means for the role that he's going to have moving forward. Because if you look at Michael Conforto in the last 10 games, he's hitting .303 with a .779 OPS. He's 10 for 33 with a home run. And that's the kind of production they want from him. Occasional slug, professional at bat, go out there and hit. And he did it. I mean, he's been fantastic against his old team, against the Giants. Had a .915 OPS against them heading into this series. And I think what's changed for Michael Conforto is the fact that he has now entered a platoon situation, a very strict platoon, because Tommy Edman has not had a lot of success against right-handed pitchers this year. And when Tommy Edman is playing center field, well, then it makes sense to move things around a bit. So with Conforto in left field, when he's going up against right-handed pitchers, well, then the configuration immediately becomes Conforto in left, Andy Paz in center, and Teoscar Hernandez in right field. So my first big takeaway is the Dodgers have now shown us, since Tommy Edman has returned, what they're doing with their outfield alignment. And we now know why Teoscar Hernandez has not moved from right field to left field. And that's because they still believe that Michael Conforto can help this team going up against right-handed pitchers. So when you see a right-handed pitcher on the mound, well, guess what? You are going to see Michael Conforto. And as long as he continues to hit like this, then there are going to be opportunities for him. Because you look at Tommy Edman this year, he's hit .203 against lefties, .238 against righties, a .653 OPS versus righties, a .703 OPS versus lefties. So that is going to be the configuration, is either Conforto, Edman, and Teo, or it's going to be Paz in left, Edman in center, and Teo in right. So Teo does not move at all. Teo's locked into right. Center field goes from Edman to Paz, and then left field goes from Conforto to Paz. And we did see Alex Call get a start with the lefty, so we'll see how they use Alex Call. But really, what it's going to come down to is, can Michael Conforto continue to be a respectable at-bat down the stretch? Does he give them any consistency? And if he does, I think it's pretty clear at this point. Like, if they were going to move off of him, they were going to move off of him. And at this point, it's still a possibility. But the truth is, does Michael Conforto give you a better bat than Ha-Seong Kim right now? Does he give you a better at-bat potentially off the bench or as a starter? Answer is yes. It's 100% yes. I mean, you look at just what he's done this season, even with down numbers, yes, he has some reverse splits, but you definitely like his chances of getting hard contact and slugging more in that stretch. So I got Michael Conforto still on this team, and I want to put it out there. I know it's a long shot. If Michael Conforto wins NLCS MVP or World Series MVP, I'm going to get a Conforto 23 tattoo on my arm. I'm dead serious. Yeah. You can clip this up.
We got it. We're everybody in this chat. We got to hold Dmac to this if it happens.
It could be Mr. Cartoon.
Where you said it? Where are you going to tat it?
On my arm.
Forearm, bicep. Where?
My
Shoulder?
bicep.
Bicep?
You know, actually, I'll do a quad tattoo.
Quad tattoo.
Quad.
Oh my god.
Quad tattoo.
Quad tattoo, and you got to wear short shorts on the show.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll probably keep them. Who knows? But I'm just telling you right now, if he wins NLCS or World Series MVP, I will get it. We'll have it live on the show. Well, I'll get it live. First of all, it's going to be funny because I hate that stuff. I have no tattoos.
Wait, so will you put his name too, or just 23?
No, it's going to look like his jersey number.
Oh, okay. It's
going to look like is a 23 in Conforto.
All right, because I was going to say if you just do 23, then you're going to try to change it years down the line and say it's for Jordan.
For Jordan or Kirk Gibson. Okay, no, I promise you, World Series MVP, postseason, NLCS MVP. It has to say Conforto. I promise. Lower back, I already have one there. You know, your lucky day. What does it say? No. Okay. Noah, what? Okay. Bro, okay. Noah, what are you going to do if Conforto wins NLCS or World Series MVP? You got to, how about?
Tell me what you think, bro. It's pretty hard to top a tattoo.
I would say,
tattoos?
No, face tattoo.
I'm not doing a face tattoo.
Dude, those go hard. If I look cool like you, I would have like you like 23 right there.
I'll do it right here like Pajes. Pajes going right here.
Pajes
got the under the ear. All the cameras not on, but.
You gotta think of something that
right here, the little like.
No, you first of all, your mom would kill me, so I'm not gonna like get in trouble like that. We got okay. You guys let us know down below. What do you think? What do you think that Noel should do if Michael Conforto wins NLCS or World Series MVP? Let us know down below. I got the ink. I'm getting inked up if it happens. But here was Michael Conforto after the game talking about what has been going right with him over the last week.
Michael, you came off the bench.
Compete up there. You know, that's really been the main thing over this past month. I mean, you know, just fighting for every at bat. You know, I think that's kind of been the team theme is, you know, forget about the numbers and just go out there, compete, do all the little things right. And we've been doing a little bit more of that in this series.
Yeah, no, another big thing has been showing a lot of fight at the plate. When you look at whether it was yesterday against Logan Webb, today against Robbie Ray, I know you weren't in there to face him early in this one, but how you guys were able to put 11 runs on the both of them, what does that say just about the group right now offensively?
I mean, you know, from my viewpoint, that we've just been relentless. I mean, the at bats have been, you know, super quality and. Just always traffic on, moving guys over, putting pressure on the pitcher and the defense, and then coming through in those spots. You know, when we do have those opportunities, and you know, so that's been the biggest thing, and we're trying to, you know, continue to do that.
I've noticed that something sparks when you're playing here, and how well you've been playing against your former team. What do you think that is?
You know, I don't know if it's just a familiar ballpark or just knowing, you know, having played behind a lot of those guys. You know, I definitely been swinging the bat well here. So, you know, maybe there's something there, but really the big thing is just I've been focused on myself and being a little bit more competitive up there and, you know, having an impact.
Now 13 games left in the regular season. How valuable is it to feel this way right now as you prepare for October?
It's great. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, it's been a rough season personally, but to be feeling this way going into, you know, a playoff push and the playoffs itself, you know, that's all I can ask for, and just got to continue to keep doing those things that have gotten me to this place.
All right, Michael, congratulations on this win, the results, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
If Michael Conforto has 1 million fans, I'm one of them. If Michael Conforto has 10,000 fans, I'm one of them. If he has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If he has 1 fan, it is me. If he has no fans, I am no longer alive. I've got your back, Michael Conforto, and the rest of the world wants to trade you for a bucket of baseballs and an empty bag of Funyuns. I still think he can help this team. And like I said, that's going to be alignment. Dave has already said Tommy Edman is going to be in center field against lefties. Michael Conforto, he's going to be in left field against righties. And then Paz in center, Teo in right against lefties. Edman in center, Teo in right And that is how it's going to play out. Paz can get the job done. And we know that Conforto can as well. So I know it sounds crazy, but we've seen wild turnarounds. We really, really have. We've seen wild turnarounds, and hey, you just need a competitive at bat. And the truth is, this team's success or failure is going to bank on how good their superstars play anyway. So I think that's just the truth of the matter with that. Now, next big takeaway, Tanner Scott. Is there a tipping problem? Our guy Doze, right, the rapper, he's got a fire free. So I did this thing about him tipping pitches, hitting his head down, nodding his head down when he throws breaking balls and not when he throws fastballs. Truth is, when guys are tipping pitches, they still have to execute. If the batter has knowledge of what pitch is coming, they're on it. That's certainly an advantage. The Dodgers pitching coaches and staff, they have guys that are constantly looking for that. You've got their teammates constantly looking for that. They're going to pick things up throughout if it's an issue. The truth is that Tanner Scott has been bad all season based on his standards, and he needs to find a way to execute better. I think they should use him in lower leverage situations, going up against lefties, build his confidence up, change his attack plan a little bit, not working as much in the zone as we talked about. Is he tipping pitches, or is that an excuse? Because that sounds like an excuse to me. Because the truth is, his stuff hasn't been good enough this year, and he hasn't performed at the level that they had hoped. But if they do find that there's been some pitch tipping, I think that could really help Tanner Scott, because that will make him feel like that was the reason and not his diminished ability or stuff. I think the one thing about Tanner Scott that you have to feel pretty good about is the fact that there's not this big dip in velocity or anything like that, that he still has stuff that looks comparable to what made him one of the best relievers in the sport over the last 2 seasons. But one thing is for sure, that my man needs a hug. Can we re-sign Albert Pujols just to give this guy a hug? The DH, the designated hugger? Because we've now heard Tanner Scott over the last couple weeks say that the baseball gods hate him. And then after his last blow up on Friday against the Giants, he said that this has been the worst year of his life.
It's starting to kind of feel like right now things are just a little unlucky with the foul tip. It was ultimately a strikeout. I'm not sure if you've seen the video just yet, but how much can that moment just change the situation and at bat everything?
Man, I gave up a bad pitch to a hitter that can hit fastballs and cost us again. Just tired of it happening, and it's miserable.
You obviously have been putting a lot of work in, making some different changes mechanically. Is that kind of one of those things you felt like that was the pitch selection there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm tipping or what, but I don't know. They're on everything, so it sucks.
Yeah, he's in a bad location. Is that sort of an indication that sort of tells you maybe like he was looking for a fastball in that spot? Or
I mean, definitely it was a fastball above the zone, and I mean, maybe I'm tipping. I have no freaking clue right now.
How difficult it's been sort of deal with mentally some of the struggles this season, especially the fact that it kind of has been turning around recently.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I'm having the worst year of my life, so it's, I don't know. I got to be better.
Do you still have like the confidence that things can turn when you try to kind of look under the hood at the way this stuff's playing, or how do you kind of get out of a run like this?
Just got to move on to the next day and try to win the next game and not really think upon it.
You really got to feel for Tanner Scott. I mean, not only has his stuff gotten pounded in the zone and he's had the blow-ups, and you look at the contract they signed him to, you would have said like the floor was like a 3.75 ERA. What they got out of Craig Kimbrell a couple years ago. His ERA is at 4.91. All the expected stuff is high. He's a negative 0.1 FWAR. And the thing that's really, really hurt him, he's given up 11 home runs. Last year, man, he gave up 3 home runs last year. He's given up 6 home runs the last 2 years combined before this year. So Tanner Scott, he certainly has had a very rough year, but the truth is they're volatile. A lot of relievers are one-hit wonders. And hopefully if he's having a down year this year, next year you get him on the up year. And that's how you can kind of justify it. But I think at this point, the Dodgers realize now that you can't just blindly give him the ball You absolutely can't. And Dave Roberts already said, Mark Pryor's already said that there's a very real chance that Shohei Ohtani will get a chance to pitch out of the bullpen potentially in October. I've said it this entire season that I expect him to close out multiple games for the Dodgers in October. Then you get Emmett Sheehan's going to be a part of that bullpen. There's going to be some things that will help. But yeah, right now, Tanner Scott has not been great for this Dodgers team. And is he pitching? Is the stuff down? Is it a confidence issue? I think it's all things considered. I think it's everything combined. And I'll go back to one thing he told me early in the season. I asked Tanner Scott, hey, man, like, did you make those mechanical adjustments when it looked like you were kind of opening up a little bit? And he said that early on his mechanics were dog-ish. That's what he told me. He was making sure I wasn't recording, but he said they're dog-ish. So that tells me that he realizes that he has room for improvement too when it comes to the mechanical side. All right, next big takeaway, something very positive. Mookie Betts wins National League Player of the Week. This turnaround, I feel like he's been so good for so long and so good in his time with the Dodgers that I don't think we're appreciating this turnaround as much, which is totally okay. I don't even think Mookie even wants us to appreciate it, to be honest with you. I remember after he got the ovation, he said he wished it wasn't happening because that would mean that there was no reason to have an ovation. But let's give him his flowers. And most importantly, let's talk about what it means for this team. Because there was a play on Friday that he did miss a throw that, thankfully, because Andy Pages threw out the runner, they escaped that inning. Hopefully the defense stays consistent in October. But at this point, one thing we know, one big takeaway about Mookie Betts is for a long time this season, there was a lot of thought that Mookie was just going to be the shortstop during the regular season. And then when the postseason rolled around, it was going to go to Tommy Edman, Rodrigo Rojas, potentially something like that. That's not going to be the case. Mookie Betts is going to be the Dodgers shortstop in the postseason. And yes, I know I'm the eternal optimist sometimes, but the truth is that it still gives me worry. It really does. Just because it's the first time playing in the postseason at that position. And we saw what happened when you miss a throw on a routine play. So I think he can do it, but until I see him do it, I still am going to be at least a little worried about it. But here's the great thing about this. If Mookie hits like this, that's much more important. And the truth is that the Dodgers have an A1 shortstop now, and his name is Mookie Betts. If I told you a couple years ago that in the great big 2025, the Dodgers would have a above average shortstop defensively, there was a guy that could rake, you would say, oh, cool, they re-signed Corey Seager. But no, that's not the case. Oh, cool, they went out there and they got Dansby Swanson. Oh, did they get Carlos Correa? Who are you talking about? It's Mookie Betts. And he won National League Player of the Week. He absolutely raked. Mookie living his Betts life. He was on base over half the time. He had a slugging percentage that showed, oh, this guy is not this hitter that's just going to hit singles and doubles. No, he slugged for the week 808. He had 462, had a 517 on base, slugged 808, had 2 home runs, 3 doubles, 10 RBI, was 12 for 26. And the most impressive thing to me, wait for it, 1 strikeout in 29 plate appearances. He was MVP Mookie Betts once again. And you have 2 MVPs with a third MVP. Like, it's truly the MV3. Like, we can officially call them the MV3, like we dubbed them so many months ago on this show. The MV3 is truly back. And it is massive for this team. He had 9 RBIs during the Rockies series. He had scored 5 runs, had 5 hits in the last couple of games against the Giants. Teoscar was a close second, but Mookie Betts, not only is he the National League Player of the Week, but most importantly, he's the Dodgers Dugout Live Player of the Week. Pitcher of the Week. This one feels good. My pitcher of the week, it's got to go to Tyler Glasnow. So Tyler Glasnow made 2 starts, did not give up a hit, but did allow a run on his Monday start against the Rockies, and he was fantastic. I mean, yesterday up in San Francisco, he showed that he still has the big stuff. He went over 13 innings of work, went 2-0, gave up 2 runs and 3 hits. during that stretch. 15 strikeouts to 6 walks. He had a 1.32 ERA for the week. So big week for Tyler Glass now. If that is your 4 starter, think about what we're talking about here. If that is the 4th best pitcher on your team, then you know you have an elite rotation. But another thing I found pretty interesting was Clayton Kershaw. Speaking of starters, my takeaway is, did Clayton Kershaw make his last start at Oracle Park? Is that the last time in his future first ballot Hall of Fame career that Clayton Kershaw pitches at that ballpark? And it wasn't a great start. He gave up 4 runs on 5 hits in 3 innings of work, had 2 strikeouts to 4 walks. But after the game, he kind of tiptoed around the question. Here was Clayton Kershaw talking about his recent start up in San Francisco.
You look at just the outing today, that first inning, kind of some of the struggles there. What were you either missing or what were you feeling to start this one?
Yeah, it wasn't a good day, but thankfully we had a great game today. Everybody picked me up and scored a bunch of runs, and that was awesome to see. So just a bad day for me, but team came through, so it's all that matters.
You look at just the bullpen, these young arms and how they've been able to step up, whether it's been someone like Justin Robleski, Edgardo, Enriquez. I mean, what's made them so impressive right now?
Yeah, they both were great tonight. We really needed those innings, so Enriquez coming in after me and punching out the side like that, and obviously Robo taking down that many innings in the middle there was huge for us. So those guys are great. We're going to need them, and big game for them today.
We talked about the offense underperforming for a while. What does it feel like to watch that kind of a night?
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome. I mean, I think Logan Webb's a really good pitcher, so for them to grind out at bats, especially after me putting him in a hole after the first inning, and getting guys on base, not trying to do too much, just taking what they give you, walks, hits, all the things. It was really impressive today by the offense, and hopefully just keep it going.
So he kind of shot down the whole idea that was at his last start. We'll see what happens. Who knows? These teams could face each other in the postseason. There's an outside chance of that, but you never know. But it does feel like to me that things are starting to wind down. I mean, a sub-4 ERA in 20 starts for Clayton Kershaw. Is he starting to fade? Maybe. I see that in the comments. The truth is they don't even need him to win a World Series. Let's just be honest. Like, they don't need him. And they got 3.53 ERA out of him in 20 starts and 102 innings. Got a 3,000 strikeouts. I got everything I needed from Clayton Kershaw. No matter what happens, he's still so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so now let's get to you guys on the 7th inning stretch. All your thoughts, comments, and questions about your boys and blue.
The 7th inning stretch.
Keegan, Dmac, you can't pretend like you're not nervous for Ohtani this series offensively. Big show fan over here, but getting blown away by 95 down the middle didn't instill confidence for this series. Yeah, I mean, look, it's Shohei, right? This is a guy who just hit the longest home run for the Dodgers this year, and he's huge. I mean, that happened Saturday. That was a big home run. He went and looked at the Dodgers dugout to try to root him on, saying, hey, we're not out of this thing yet. He did say after the game that the distance of home runs actually matters to him, which I thought was cool. So it's Shohei. These series are big for him because honestly, he's not used to them. Like, I mean, 1 year of series like this is not the norm, right? He's played most of his career playing meaningless baseball for a bad franchise. So series like this are always really good, helpful for Shohei Ohtani. Delirium 9, I studied it. Tanner Scott is okay with a 6+ run cushion. Otherwise, he's more vulnerable to a volcanic meltdown. Joe Papa, is Tanner pulling a Maddox, let opponents hit, but throw something totally different in the playoffs? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about a famous Greg Maddox story where he pitched Jeff Bagwell differently in the regular season, and it helped him in the postseason. To answer your question, absolutely not. That is not the case for Tanner Scott. He wants to pitch well. He knows the contract he signed, knows the pressure that's on him. John Valdez, it'll never be as bad as Noah Syndergaard wanting to give up his firstborn kid for his old velocity. Yeah, we could spend hours looking at post-game comments, and nothing will ever be as creepy as Noah Syndergaard saying that he'd give up his firstborn kid for his velocity. Like, when he has a kid, that's going to be kind of awkward for him. Let's be honest. Like, hey, Dad, you said that. I could see that as a fight one day. Like Noah Syndergaard getting a future fight with his son. Dad, you said that you would Give me up for extra 4 miles per hour velocity. I hate you, and slam the door. Could see that. BT Fouls. On one hand, though, I do appreciate he's not just glossing, though, the interviews with baseball cliches. Yeah, for sure. Claudia Levin, Webb is Dmac's BFF. Oh, come on now. Come on. No. You know what? How that's fine. Maybe I don't ever tell you inside stories from San Francisco. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. Give myself a finish. NS, it pains me to hear you speculate on Conforto in the postseason. Hey, you guys know my rule. I tell you what I think they should do, but I also tell you what I think they will do. The difference. What I think they should do, what I think they will do. At this point, though, I think Conforto looks like a professional at bat and a veteran that they're going to bet on. Jose Villanueva, Dmac. No one said it had to be a standalone tattoo. Get a badass Dodgers piece done and add Conforto to it. You know what? That's not a bad. It's a fire tattoo. Now I'm getting inked up. You guys know my dream tattoo, right? My dream is to, big Tupac fan. And my name, Doug Life. Doug kind of rhymes with thug. I always wanted to get how Tupac had the thug life on his abs, but Doug Life in the same writing. That was always my dream tattoo. How about you, Noel? You got any tattoos?
I don't have any, man. The women in my life don't like them. My mom doesn't like them. My girlfriend doesn't like them.
Yeah. If you had to get one, what would you get?
I've always wanted so my thought process was if I get my mom's birthday, she won't get mad at me.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
I got your birthday. So I thought about birthday. I've also thought about a Bible verse.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. I was thinking about getting a heart with me and Logan Webb in it. You know what I mean? What do you guys think, chat? It seems like novice correct. Lola, iterating when my husband calls during Dmac Live. What's up, Lola? Justin Lamas, I'm president of the Juan Soto Club. You are. Carl Ohtani, maybe the last person you want at the plate with the bases loaded due to his strikeout rates. It's been hit or miss. It's been a mixed bag. Shohei's not Freddie Freeman at the plate with the bases loaded or running to the scoring position, but he's still a dangerous at bat. Now, I would still bet on Shohei. It's only a matter of time that he has his big Freddie Freeman moment in the postseason. He had the big home run against Dylan Cease. Also got the double in the previous inning that led to the tie. So, yeah, I don't want to get into that, but I'm all Shohei all day, every day. Dr. V. Dmac, what do you think of Ohtani's juice in the clutch moment? I know I'm speaking anecdotally, but he never seems to come through when we are down, only in leadoff. See, that's the thing. That's crazy. Look, let's bring our facts to the fight here. And this year, Shohei Ohtani, with runners in scoring position, an 856 OPS, 983 with runners on. Average-wise, it's 239, but he still has slug and OPS when there's runners on base. But I still firmly believe that if Shohei Ohtani doesn't hit that 3-run home run off of Dylan Cease, the Dodgers might have gotten swept that series. Who knows? You might drop games 1 and 2 and game 3. And I think another really underrated moment for Shohei Ohtani was in game 1 of the World Series. Game 1 of the World Series, everyone's, of course, going to talk about Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam, and rightfully so. You absolutely have to talk about it. There's no doubt about it. But let's not forget, bottom of the 8th inning in that game 1 of the World Series, the Dodgers were trailing 2-1. Shohei Ohtani gets that double to right off of Canely, and he had the throwing error by Soto and Torres, and he ends up at third. Then Mookie Betts hits that sac fly to tie things up. And then also, too, in the 10th inning, let's not forget, it was Shohei Ohtani who fouled one off to left, and Verdugo made the play in foul territory out of play, which allowed the runners to advance, that let them intentionally walk Betts, that led to the walk-off grand slam for Freddie Freeman. So I truly believe that he's going to have his moment, and it's Shohei. He's going to be just fine. A couple more, and then we're going to go to the final walk-off here. We've got Danny Jimenez, put Conforto as the main player for the Dodgers Nation intro if he wins World Series MVP or NLCS. Okay, Danny Jimenez, that's our comment of the show. And this is a good problem to have. If this happens, we look like geniuses. It means something good. It means the Dodgers are in the NLCS and in the World Series. All this is good stuff. So there you go. Michael Conforto will be in the new Dodgers Dugout Live. He'll be in the new Dodgers Dugout Live Dodgers Nation intro, and I'll get a Michael Conforto tattoo, 23 Conforto, if he wins NLCS or World Series MVP. But we are running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
So speaking of Michael Conforto and speaking of Tanner Scott, we saw this. I'm going to put that up there. It's who wins the matchup. Every Dodgers fan wants to see Tanner Scott versus Michael Conforto. This was posted by Jose Rod. I believe he's in our comments, to be honest. But who do you guys think wins this matchup? Tanner Scott going up against Michael Conforto. What happens in this at-bat? Is it the classic stoppable force versus a movable object? What is it? Who wins this? As they're saying here down below. Someone saying I'd take Conforto if he's swinging a hot bat.
They said Goat Fordo, no question.
Goat Fordo, no question. Yeah. This is a tough one. I think, look, I think that in 10 at-bats, it'd probably go like 6-4. I mean, the pitcher always has the advantage. Let's read some comments, though. Anything good? Haha, the umpire wins. There you go. There's a comment of the show. Umpire wins. I like that one. The umpire wins. Hey, we would love nothing more to see both these guys have success. Claudia says Conforto, unfortunately. Tanner Scott, slider, meatball. Conforto strikes out on a wild pitch. Winning run takes home. That's from John Valdez. A strike 3 walk. That's a good one right there. That's a comment of the show. You guys are killing it. I like a strike 3 walk. But hey, how about this? Conforto hits a home run, and then Tanner Scott strikes him out, and they do that 5 times each. That's my dream scenario because we need both these guys to be good for this team down the stretch. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. You can follow Noise by Noel at Noise by Noel. Noel Sanchez, super producer. Special thanks to all you guys out there. You guys are the real MVPs. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you want to support every episode. Hit that like button. Go to gearup.la to get the Dodger Boys t-shirt. And then join me tonight after the game for the Dodgers Dugout Live Dodgers Nation post-game show. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.